Thank you, Kevin Nagandi. We welcome you to West Texas for Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive Insurance. It's another raucous crowd on hand inside the United Supermarkets Arena. Number 16, Texas Tech, hosting the Cincinnati Bearcats. Both teams meaningful games 72 hours ago. Cincy went into Allen Fieldhouse and walked out with a massive upset of Kansas. Mustafa Cham leading the way with a career-high 28. Tech could have hung their heads after playing their first game without All-American JT Toppin. Instead, they hung 100 on Kansas State, their 20th win of the season. Red Raiders trying to keep pace in the Big 12 without their big man. A win tonight, and they move into a virtual tie with Kansas and Houston, a game behind the Arizona Wildcats. Alongside King McClure, I'm Rich Hollenberg. King, one game without Toppin, and we got a glimpse of life without their superstar. Christian Anderson and Donovan Atwell will be leading the way.
Well, it's no surprise to anybody that without Toppin, there is a hole offensively that needs to be filled, but these two young men are able to fill it. In the last game against Kansas State, they had 47 points combined. They hit 9 threes total. I mean, the way that they can shoot the ball can completely change the trajectory of a basketball game. So against a team like Cincinnati, a top 10 defense in the country, they're going to need every one of those points, every one of those threes in order to get a win.
Cincinnati has won 4 straight games, starting with a win at home against UCF. They went on the road and took down Kansas State, then Utah at home, and that massive win in Lawrence, Kansas for Wes Miller in his 5th year at Cincinnati, but no NCAA tournament bids yet as the head coach of the Bearcats. Just saw number 9 in white, Luke Bamboye. He has been starting in place of the All-American JT Toppin. All he did in his first game as a starter was play 21 minutes for Grant McCaslin, scored 12 points and have 3 blocks against Kansas State. Your officials tonight, Marcus Pettigrew, Pat Adams, and Chance Moore. We are underway. The road team in their black uniforms. The Bearcats control the opening tip. Jizzle James, number 2 in black, with the ball. First shot of the game, Day Thomas knocks down a 3.
And that's what happens when you have Baba Miller on the perimeter. I mean, his passing ability makes him so unique to be able to throw that pass on time, on target for an open 3. Good sign for Cincinnati early.
Day Thomas, the only Bearcat to start all 27 games this year. Here's Anderson, 4 in white. Playing like an All-American. His first shot off the window and good. We mentioned Day Thomas starting all 27. He's joined in the backcourt by Jizzle James, but their key is number 18 in black, Baba Miller.
Because he can do so much. I mean, the way that he's been playing, he's been shooting the ball better, Rich, as of late. I mean, he is working himself into conversation where the NBA is now being mentioned. It's always been there, but it's looking more and more sure as time progresses.
Mid-post, 2 feet in the paint, and he gets it to go.
And that is where Cincinnati is going to look to attack. In the front court, they have the size advantage.
As we mentioned, Bamboye, the 6'11 sophomore out of London, making the start. And now it's Anderson, 10 on the timer. Inside, Lawan Watts, preseason newcomer of the year. Now 5 on the shot clock. Pocket pass, Watts gives it to Bamboye, and he's met at the rim by Miller. And Baba Miller going to be whistled.
And this right here was just a great decision by Watts. I mean, on the pick and roll, look how Christian Anderson dumps it off. He sees Mustafa Cham come over. So he gets it to Bamboye, and Baba Miller meets him at the rim, but that's all set up by Watts. Good decision right there in the short roll.
And a vote of confidence from Grant McCaslin telling his crew, let's get it inside to the big man like we used to do with JT Toppin.
And it looks a little different because one thing that we talked about in shoot-around was with JT Toppin, you could always create an advantage, Rich. Whether you just throw it in the post, you always the defense always would have to put 2 on him, or in the short roll, his floater was so nice that you had to always account for it. So now Texas Tech is looking for ways, they're scheming ways of creating advantages outside of, just relying on JT Toppin and Christian Anderson, Petty and ball screens. I think that they figured some things out.
You saw Grant McCaslin, his 3rd season on the South Plains, and he has a habit of winning 20 games a year with whatever team he coaches. 20 years as a head coach, he's only had 1 season where he hasn't collected 20 or more wins. The Red Raiders have already reached that plateau this season. Catch and release, Jizzle James for 3.
Jizzle James is only shooting 20% from 3 in the last 2 games. He has not done that well, but when you look at the backcourt of Day-Day Thomas and Jizzle, when you can knock down shots like that early on, gives you a boost of confidence.
Anderson too strong. Day-Day Thomas clears for the Bearcats. Looking for back-to-back wins against a ranked opponent. It would be the first time they've done that in 14 years. Here's Mustafa Chomp, 52 in black, setting the screen. Had 28 points in Allen Fieldhouse on his birthday on Saturday. And a whistle blows. That's going to go on Christian Anderson, his first.
And let's go back to this right here. Once again, who was the assist man? Baba Miller. I mean, at 7 foot, his passing ability completely changes the offense for this Bearcat team.
As a matter of fact, Baba had 8 dimes in that game against Kansas, a career high for him. I got one of those patented King McClure sneers when I said that. Must be impressed.
Extremely impressed with this young man.
Here's Miller, 3 on the timer. Takes it himself and gets it to go.
And that's going to have to be an area which Texas Tech adjusts, because not too many times do you have a ball screen where 2 of your front court members are in it.
An early terrific offensive start for Wes Miller's club, who is not known for scoring the basketball. The freshman Petty out to Anderson. Anderson working on Thomas. And he throws it to the Cincinnati bench. That's a Texas Tech turnover.
And let's go back to this Baba Miller drive, because look at how he moves. He causes confusion because it's a big-on-big screen. Not too many people in America can run this. But when you have a guy as versatile as Baba Miller, they can really cause problems for you.
Miller averaging 14 and 10 a game and 31.5 minutes played per game. And he's helped stake Cincinnati to an early 6-point lead on the road. James, 2 for 2 from 3 for Jizzle James. He went 1 for 4 from 3 in Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. Before that, he was 13 for his last 20, though. First shot of the game, Donovan Atwell, and the follow slam from Lawan Watts.
And that's great ball movement. Whenever you can swing the ball around the perimeter, force the defense to be in rotation, you can get second chance opportunities like that.
Grant McCaslin said he wants to challenge Watts to be more physically dominant. He was on that play. Timeout on the floor, 15:38 to go. We've got a slugfest already in West Texas.
Texas Tech getting off to a slow start, but maybe this flush right here by Watts gets him going. Let's see.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com. This is the Big 12 on ESPN. As a matter of fact, wall-to-wall Big 12 basketball tonight. A triple header here on ESPN2. And Grant McCasland knows all about dominating home court advantage in Big 12 play. As a matter of fact, 18 straight wins at home under Grant McCasland versus unranked opponents. That is a ridiculous 878 winning percentage. He has turned this building into one of the great home court advantages in all of basketball.
I mean, when you look at him and his staff that he has assembled, I mean, when JT Toppin goes down, I have no doubt in my mind, I have never had any doubt that that group of men would be able to turn this around and figure it out. Figure out how to play, change their whole system, and see what gets them to success. Because they're masterminds.
There's a turnover right after the timeout. Anderson got it to go. 4 points for Christian Anderson, averaging over 19 a game.
And that was all set up by Donovan Atwell. You know, we know he's a great shooter, Rich, but one area where he doesn't get enough credit is what he does defensively. He's guarded Darren Peterson, he's guarded DeBonsta. He always guards the best team's perimeter player. And that does not get talked about enough.
Did a great job on P.J. Haggerty in their last one.
Guarded P.J. Haggerty as well.
Here's Miller. 4 points, 3 dimes already for the big man. Make it 6 points now for Baba Miller, having his way in the early go.
And you might have to send a double right there. Because when you look at the size advantage, he's just able to rise up over the top of Watts. So if I was Grant McCasland, I might go send a double when Baba Miller touches it.
All of a sudden, the Cincinnati offense, second lowest scoring team in the Big 12, worst field goal percentage. They're 6 for 6 to start. Here's the freshman Petty. Pulls up. Gets his own miss. Atwell for 3. Got it!
And that's good awareness right there by Christian Anderson. Immediately when he got the ball, he knew where his shooter was. Hit him on time, on target. That's a wide open automatic tray by Atwell.
Number 101 on the season, the all-time single season record holder here at Texas Tech. And one opportunity the old-fashioned way from Mustafa Cham.
Let's go back to this Atwell trade because this is one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the Big 12. You leave him open, it's going through the nets. Nothing but net at that. And let's go to Mustafa Cham, a guy who's playing so well. And if you're Texas Tech, you have to do your work early when you're playing against these bigs of Cincinnati. What does that mean, Rich? That means you cannot allow them to get deep post touches. You have to work them, make them work their way out and be physical before they get the ball on the catch.
We already highlighted Mustafa's 28 points against Kansas on the road. He's averaging 19 points and 8 rebounds a game in his last 3. He even hit a 3-pointer at Allen Fieldhouse.
And that's what's so impressive about Cham. When we talk about both of these bigs for Cincinnati, I mean, both of these guys can be potential NBA players because Cham can also be so versatile, can switch 1 through 5, can step out and shoot the 3. I mean, he's a prototypical NBA big.
Anderson seemingly getting to the rim at will, but he missed that one. It'll stay Texas Tech basketball.
And I like the aggression early on by Christian Anderson. We're not seeing him settle for threes. We're seeing him attack, put his head down, get to the rim and make plays. This is what they need from him moving forward for the rest of the season. They need him to be ultra aggressive from the jump.
So Christian Anderson will go to the line, a 78% free throw shooter. Jizzle James whistled for his first foul. Wooden Award finalist. Number 8 in the nation in threes made per game. Number 9 in the nation in three-point percentage. SEC women's basketball coming up Thursday night. Number 6 LSU hosting Tennessee at the Maverich Center in Baton Rouge. Coverage beginning at 6 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Women's SEC teams, 10 teams in the top 25, King.
That's high-level basketball right there.
It's like the SEC men from a year ago. Six Big 12 teams in the top 25 currently. With Texas Tech checking in at number 16. Jizzle James continues the perfect from the field night for the Bearcats.
And that's where he specializes. When you allow him to get in rhythm and get to his mid-range pull-up, he's going to make that more times than not.
A ridiculous 8 for 8 against a good Texas Tech defense. There's Petty for 3. So what's going on this end of the floor that Cincinnati seems to be having their way?
They're comfortable. Cincinnati is comfortable right now. They're getting in rhythm. They're getting whatever look they want. And they're playing through their bigs.
Here's James. He has 8 already. Now Jalen Celestine, three-point specialist, and he knocks down his first shot.
He's a guy who's been on an extreme heater, shooting 60 from the 3 in the last 4 games. If there's anybody on Cincinnati that you have to know where he is at all times, it's Celestine.
13 for his last 21 from beyond the arc is Jalen Celestine. And that was their 4th 3 in 4 tries, King.
This is what happens when you allow a team to be comfortable and get some confidence. They start hitting shots like that. Celestine is a catch-and-shoot guy. But when you get in rhythm, you can knock one down off the bounce every now and then.
Celestine, a Big 12 veteran, played at Baylor a year ago. He's helped stake Cincinnati to a 7-point lead. They haven't trailed tonight on the road in one of the toughest environments in college basketball. 5 on the timer. Anderson from his rear throws it up, and it's followed by Josiah Mosley with his first 2. Right back at you, but swatted out of bounds.
Josiah Mosley is a guy that can take things to the next level for this Texas Tech team. We talk about who can replace and step up in the midst of JT Toppin being out. Well, Josiah Mosley can be that guy. On the offensive side, he's athletic, and on the defensive side, he is as well. Rich, I think we're going to be in for a treat tonight.
Alongside King McClure, Rich Hollenberg inside United Supermarkets Arena. Unfortunately, you probably know the news. Texas Tech superstar JT Toppin lost for the season to an ACL. What are they missing when they're missing one of the best players in basketball?
Well, when you talk to Grant McCaslin, well, first and foremost, you never want to see that.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part of basketball. You never want to see a guy, any guy, but especially one of his caliber, go down. But when you talk to Grant McCaslin, the biggest thing that they're going to miss is the toughness, the physicality, the grit at the end of the game. When you need to get a rebound over a Walker or Krivas, who are you looking at? You're looking at a guy like JT Toppin. So Grant McCaslin said, in these next 6 games, we will learn a lot about our front court. We'll see who is ready to step up. We'll see who is not ready to step up. But that's the biggest thing that they're missing. Not offense. He's not worried about the offense, because they can generate points like they did last game. But it's the toughness and the physicality.
And I think that's shown itself so far. Cincinnati 9 for 10 from the field. Thomas now making 9 for 11 on that air ball. It's not like Texas Tech is struggling too much offensively either. 6 for 10 for the Red Raiders. Petty lines up a 3 and knocks it down.
And that was all set up by Bamboye. I mean, the screen that he set completely eliminated the initial defender on ball. So Jalen Petty was shocked at first on how wide open he was, but he knocks it down eventually.
Here's Chom. Guarded by Bamboye. Chom with the left hand.
The skill set right there for Chom, to be able to spin out and shoot the ball with his left hand. We talk about how impressed I've been with their front court of Cincinnati. I mean, that goes to show you why.
Now Bamboye at the other end. And they're going to get the foul on Chom that time, sending the big man for Texas Tech to the line.
And let's go back to this Petty 3. Look at the screen that Bamboye set. I mean, he was wide open. He was shocked that he was that open. But that's a great screen by your big, and on the opposite side. You talk about Chom and the skill set. Look at this. That's just soft touch, no backboard. Just great feel right there with the weak hand. Chom is very impressive.
First one good for Bamboye. The 16th annual WWE Elimination Chamber is Saturday in Chicago. A spot in the men and women's championships at WrestleMania 42 on the line. Stream it exclusively with the ESPN Unlimited plan, live or on demand using the ESPN app. Sign up or log in with your TV provider to unlock your access. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Well, Luke Bamboye off to a 4-for-4 start from the free throw line.
They're doing a good job of just making it easy. Not asking him to do too much, but just making the game easy for him on the offensive side.
Texas Tech as close as they've been all night, down by just 2. Here's Chom again. They bring the double this time. Sincere Harris off the mark. But the Bearcats get it back. And a good defensive stand from Texas Tech.
I like that adjustment. They threw the double at Chom because he's had his way down low. I like that adjustment right there defensively by Texas Tech.
Now Anderson. He has 6 already. They switch, and now it's the big man Miller on it. Out to Atwell. Hand in his face, off the mark, rebounded by Miller. Tillery, the freshman, out to Chom for 3. As we said, he hit one of those against the Jayhawks, but he's 0 for 1 here tonight. Big man playing that well. You got to reward him with the 3 once in a while. Now he's playing D against Bamboye and knocks it away.
And that's not what you want him to do. You don't want to give him the ball in that scenario.
Pinned and a wedgie. They're going to count the bucket.
Look at this. Good defense leads to easy offense. They put Bamboye in a really tough spot. That's not a strong suit. But then A. Thomas gets the ball out. And they get the block right here. Sincere Harris just attacking the rim. That's what he does best.
Not known as a scorer as Sincere Harris, averaging just over 6 points a game, but he's got his first 2 on that one. Cincinnati up 4. They've led by as many as 9 so far tonight on the road in Lubbock. Coming off a massive road win in Lawrence, Kansas. Looking for back-to-back top 25 road wins. I don't care who you are, that doesn't happen very often. And that foul gonna go on Day Thomas, his first. This 4-game win streak by the Bearcats has been no joke. One game was close, but they've won 3 of those 4 games by 20 or more points, King.
You know, I've been really impressed with the way that Wes Miller continues to adapt. I mean, offensively, they're running different things. Oh, my goodness.
The lob to Aquintook.
And in the pick and roll, we talk about running different things. I mean, that right there is the difference between a JT top and roll versus the front court that you have now. They're more long rollers as opposed to short rollers.
Pretty dime by Anderson, his second assist. And Chom goes down and will go to the line.
And let's take a look at this, because in a pick and roll, there aren't too many better than Christian Anderson, because he does a good job. They try to run this Spain action. No need to even set Donovan Atwell the back screen. Just throw the lob and you put it anywhere near the rim, it's going to be automatic flush.
And Marial Aquintook giveth, and Marial Aquintook taketh away. He had that beautiful catch on the alley-oop, but he just committed his 3rd foul with 8:35 to go in the first half.
And this front court, especially with JT Toppin being out, it's not a very deep front court. So it's imperative that Van Boye does not get in foul trouble.
Again, as you probably know, Texas Tech playing undermanned and undersized with All-American JT Toppin on the bench. Tore his ACL about a week ago on the road at Arizona State. This is Texas Tech's 2nd game without him. Anderson short on that 3 attempt, and it's cleared by Chom. Cincinnati still has not trailed tonight. Tillery. Out to Thomas. Off the mark on the 3, and water's starting to find its level a bit offensively for Cincinnati. Here's the freshman Petty. He's got a couple of 3s under his belt already tonight.
Man, this is the matchup they want to attack right there.
And a deep 3. Maybe not the shot that Grant McCaslin wanted, but that's the effort he wanted from Van Boye. And the tap goes to Cincinnati. Here's Celestine. Good catch by Chom. Falls down, draws the foul. Mustafa Chom's spent a lot of time on the deck so far tonight. He has 6 points, and the Bearcats are up 4 with 7:28 to go.
So when you watch this Texas Tech offense, Christian Anderson is one of the best guards in the country, if not the best, in the pick and roll. He is always in a pick and roll and typically makes the right decision. And when you break down the numbers according to KenPom, Christian Anderson leads the country in pick and roll possessions. Not only that, he leads the country in points and assists, points that he has created out of the pick and roll. For example, Braden Smith has 100 less possessions than Christian Anderson, one of the best point guards in the country. And Christian Anderson has created 142 more points than Braden Smith has on the pick and roll. Christian Anderson, there's a reason why Texas Tech's offense is magnificent, because of what Christian Anderson can do out of a ball screen.
That's why he's a Wooden Award finalist, 3rd in the nation in assists per game, and no one counts on his point guard more than Grant McCaslin does. He is 2nd in the country in minutes played. Christian Anderson, number 4 in white.
They do a great job of just putting him in positions to succeed.
There's a Cincinnati turnover. Once again, Texas Tech a chance to make it a 1-possession ball game. This time it's a pick and pop with Josiah Mosley. Anderson kicks it out. Here's Anderson with 4 on the timer. Clear path to the basket for Christian Anderson with 8.
And that was all set up by LaJuan Watts on the ghost screen. Right there, Baba Miller thought that he was about to feel a little bit of contact. Didn't feel it, wide open lane.
And now close to 15,000 at full throat inside the USA. Chong in and out. A 3 gives Texas Tech their first lead of the night. Here's Watts. Fakes the pass and gets it back out beyond the arc. Atwell working on Thomas. Anderson. 7 on the shot clock. Now Tyree Bryant off the mark on that 3. And it's cleared by Chong. Baba Miller. Deep 3 from number 18 in black.
And Baba Miller has been so confident from behind the arc. I mean, in his last 4 games, he's shooting 63 from deep. That hasn't always been the case. He's been struggling from deep this season, but if Baba Miller can knock down shots like that, uh-oh, Rich.
That 3 means he leads all scorers tonight with 9.
Oh.
Look at the Hezzy.
Oh.
Look at the bucket. The magician, Christian Anderson.
Oh, and Christian Anderson, when he gets to the rim, it's something that he doesn't do as much as you would like, but when he gets to the rim, Rich, he's a 63% finisher.
Around and out on that 3. Cincinnati has led throughout. Mosley makes it a 1-point game. Christian Anderson doing everything this first half. Jizzle James off the mark. It's tapped out of bounds and saved, but into the hands of Donovan Atwell. And that one would have blown the roof off the United Supermarkets Arena. Even though that miss just happened, Christian Anderson doing everything else the right way.
He's picking them apart. Take a look at this ghost screen. Baba Miller thinks he's about to get contact, but he doesn't. Gives Christian Anderson a wide open lane. And then right here on the next one, look at this drive. Look at the move. Tween cross, finish over the big, put it up high. Christian Anderson is unbelievably skilled.
just a sophomore, playing at an All-American level. And draws the foul on Baba Miller. That's his second. So 4:01 to go on a night when the Red Raiders are playing their second to last home game of the season, coming off their first game without All-American JT Toppin, and they have gotten their money's worth against the Cincinnati Bearcats. A bucket here gives them their first lead of the night. Five on the timer. Anderson surveying, spins, one leg, can't hit it, but kept alive by Mosley. Penny gives them the lead. Timeout, Cincinnati. Texas Tech rises up and takes their first lead of the night.
The Red Raiders are rolling. Christian Anderson misses the shot, but it doesn't matter because Tech wants this game. And second shots usually always go in. Well, Rich, it's Christian Anderson Bible night here at Texas Tech. And as deserving, there's a reason why. Because the way that he's putting on a show and getting to the rim, he deserves it. I mean, he only gets to the rim 46% of the time because 74% of the time he's shooting a jumper. But the way that he's playing tonight and the aggressiveness in which he is displaying, this young man deserves this bobblehead right here.
No doubt. Student section loves collectibles like this. And his fingerprints are all over this 7-0 run that's given Texas Tech its first lead tonight. Christian Anderson with 10 points and 4 dimes. well on his way to his 8th double-double of the season. You don't hear point guards collecting that many double-doubles, King.
Well, what I've been most impressed with is typically, I mean, earlier on in the season, if Christian Anderson wasn't knocking down shots from behind the arc, Christian Anderson went missing. You didn't hear from him. So now the confidence in his game, the way that he has grown into a guy who is more than just a shooter, but can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim. I've been extremely impressed with his growth over the season.
So let's see how Cincinnati handles this first haymaker from the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Catch and release, Celestine short. Loose ball out of bounds, and Marcus Pettigrew says it's going to stay Bearcats basketball. And I'll tell you one stat that's jumped out at me, and it doesn't have as much to do with Christian Anderson as with his teammates playing without JT Toppin. They're 10-0 in terms of second chance points.
That's a high-level stat right there, especially when they give up the size advantage down low to the front court of Cincinnati. I mean, that's what Grant McCassin was talking about in shoot-around to us. I mean, you have to want it, and that's what JT Toppin did. That's the grittiness, that's the toughness in which JT Toppin gave to this team. And we are seeing other guys step up in his place.
Josiah Mosley has 3 rebounds already. Now Mosley on the bench, and Bamboye back on the floor.
And that was a great job right there by Bamboye, doing your work early, not allowing Chom to get a deep post touch.
It is big man by committee in Lubbock, Texas, for the rest of the season. Watts had it blocked. On the weekend, the freshman team too strong. And back come the Red Raiders. Watts showing good patience. Now that way. Doesn't take him long. Donovan Atwell has 2 threes. 92% of his attempts are from beyond the arc. Another 3 attempt from Chom. Not sure that's where Wes Miller dialed up. A 10-0 Red Raiders run. And a foul on the floor called by Pat Adams. That's going to go on Texas Tech.
And let's go back to this three-pointer because they missed him originally. When you look at Atwell and he runs, he was open already. He wanted the basketball, but they finally were able to find him. And it doesn't take long for him to release that basketball.
Man, oh man. Atwell with takes and makes as good as anybody in the country. 2nd in the nation in threes per game, 5th in the nation in three-point percentage. And I love it. They always say shooters have to be shot ready. Well, you could tell he was giving those hand signals with it. Hey, I'm behind you.
He's definitely one of the best shooters in the country. In my opinion, he might be the best.
Inside, nice feed from Thomas to Chom.
And that's just a great job right there. You needed a bucket, and this is where I think Wes Miller has grown over the course of a season. You needed a bucket. He knew what to run in order to get one. He's allowing their offense to be a lot more free-flowing, and I think one of the reasons why they're a little stagnant right now is because of Bob Miller being on the bench in foul trouble.
Off the hands of Bamboye, that's the 4th turnover of their night for Texas Tech.
Let's go back to this because look at the ball screen and the back screen that Celestine sets. Doesn't allow Bamboye to be able to get around. And when you deliver that pass, it's the easy 2 points. But that's just a good drop right there by Wes Miller.
Celestine, top of the key, off the mark. And a rebound to Anderson. Mr. Anderson again. He's got a dozen.
But that's just bad one-on-one defense. I mean, Dede Thomas is a really underrated defender in this Big 12 league. And right there just allows Anderson to get the blow-by.
John with the turnaround. No, 1 and done for Cincinnati. And a chance for Tech to open up their largest lead of this contest. Under a minute to go. 15 on the shot clock. Out of the double team, the one more, Atwell. Automatic! Timeout, Texas Tech, use it or lose it for Grant McCaslin, because his team is rolling.
We talk about creating an advantage. Well, right there, Watts does a good job getting it out the double, and you throw it to one of the best shooters in the country.
Alongside King McClure, Rich Hollenberg coming up at halftime. Kevin Connors and company talking about Kansas bouncing back at the Fog after their loss to this Bearcats team. And then we'll have another preview of tonight's big night in the Big 12. Grant McCaslin, like a Cheshire cat, knowing that it was just a matter of time before his team started rolling. And now they're on a 15-2 run to take their largest lead of the night.
Right here, I like this. Insert Baba Miller back in the game. When he's on the floor, your offense is elevated.
3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. 8 on the timer. John. Quick release. Celestine had it blocked with 3 seconds left. Here's Atwell. Oh! There would have been a Raider riot in Lubbock if he had knocked that one down. Nevertheless, the Texas Tech Red Raiders take a halftime lead by 8 to the locker room. They're 18-1 when they lead at the break. Now to Kevin Connors, Seth Greenberg, and the halftime report. Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive Insurance in Lubbock, Texas. The homestanding and 16th ranked Red Raiders using a 15-2 run to end the half to take an 8-point lead over Cincinnati into the start of the second half. Welcome back inside. Courtside alongside King McClure. I'm Rich Hollenberg. At the beginning of this telecast, we talked about from this point forward, it's all about Christian Anderson and Donovan Atwell if they're going to lead Texas Tech deep into the NCAA tournament, and those two players have led them so far.
And they've had to step up offensively, and Christian Anderson has impressed me because he hasn't hit a three, but he's been able to be effective and get to the rim. He only does that about 26% of the time, but when he does it, oh boy, does he look good. Finishing over the big, doing it in a variety of ways, and we don't see this too often. But Christian Anderson for the slam, and on the other side of the backcourt, Donovan Atwell, this is an automatic shooter, and let's take a look right here. Because we talk about creating an advantage. Take a look at this right here. This is how you create an advantage. You have a small, and Dene Thomas now on a big. Watch what he does. He goes immediately to the post, DeJuan Watts. And now, because you have that advantage down low, it creates a double team and a 2-on-1 on the backside. And that's just another way that Texas Tech gives Donovan Atwell open looks. He got that a lot with JT Toppin, but now Tech has to find new ways in order to create those advantages. And I think based on the first half, they've done a good job.
Cincinnati led by 9. They were 9 for 9 to start this game, but they've gone 4 for 21 after that. Texas Tech went 6 for 14 from 3. They were a perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line. And maybe most impressively, in the absence of JT Toppin, King, they were 10-0 in second chance points against Cincinnati.
One thing to pay attention to is Baba Miller. At the beginning of the first half, Baba Miller was the main reason why Cincinnati's offense was really on point. And he went out due to foul trouble, but pay attention to how the offense looks now that he's back inserted into the ball game.
Inside, Watts whistled before the shoot. That's going to go on Jizzle James, his second. So Texas Tech will inbounds the ball under their own basket. Not surprising, Christian Anderson led the Red Raiders with points, rebounds, and assists, playing the full 20 minutes. Here he is with the ball in his hands, 4 and white. Jalen Petty had 3 threes with 9 points in the first half. 7 to shoot. Anderson will shoot. Off to the right.
And that's the shot you want right there if you're Cincinnati. I mean, one thing about Christian Anderson, he does a lot of good things, but getting to his middle game is not a strong suit of his.
Both Cincinnati bigs led the way for the Bearcats. Baba Miller had 9 and Mustafa Cham with 9. Here's Miller mid-post. This is like his office. The wraparound pass to Cham, and Cham gets fouled.
And that's what they did in the first half that brought them success. Get the ball to Baba Miller, allow him to operate, and you don't have to necessarily rely on his scoring because he's such a great facilitator. I mean, look at this pass right here. The wraparound. I mean, at 7 foot, he can see things that majority of playmakers cannot because of his height. So if I'm Cincinnati, Rich, early on in this half, my intention is to get the ball to Baba Miller every single possession.
That's Cham's first miss from the free throw line tonight, as the road team shoots while looking square into the eyes of the Raider Riot, the student section behind this field goal. Cham goes 1 for 2. He has 10, and it's a 7-point Texas Tech lead. Here's Anderson. Tough 2 for Christian Anderson, leading all scorers with 14.
And that's just good patience right there on the snake. Because when he snakes the ball screen, Van Boye sets a screen on the rim protector, which allows Anderson to just get an easy 2.
Celestine found the seam. Cham tried to grab the rebound. Here come the Red Raiders. Let's talk about usage rate. Christian Anderson is redefining that stat. Bounce pass, Petty to Watts. Well, we mentioned usage rate. He's the second Big 12 player this season with 10, 5, and 5 in the first half of a game. It's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to point guard play in the Big 12. Chom with a two-hand flush.
The 2 times that Baba Miller touches the basketball, you have Chom ending up at the free throw line, and then you have the flush right there. I mean, Baba Miller takes this offense to a different level because of his facilitation.
Bamboye inside out. Anderson plays it off. 17 now for the superstar.
And whenever you can hit the short roll and look opposite immediately, good things happen.
First time the lead is extended to double digits now. Miller for 3. Not his specialty. And that one's blocked, but they're going to count the basket.
Let's take a look at this because this was all set up from Baba. Look at where he places this basketball, though. If he throws it too far, Christian Anderson gets the steal. And on the opposite side, when Jalen Petty hits the short roll, Bamboye does a good job of just looking opposite. Not trying to rush, take your time, immediately look to where your shooters are. And once again, Rich, good things happen when you look opposite in the short roll.
That was Anderson's first three-pointer of the night. He's 1 for 4. Everything else has been near pristine. Petty in and out. And the rebound to Chom. He's working on a double-double. Celestine, three-point specialist, has his second straight layup.
And that's just a good drive right there. And that's what a good shooters should do. They should allow their shooting to free up lanes to where they can drive. And Celestine did a good job right there of just that.
Jalen Celestine's never had a bad day. Walks around with a megawatt smile on his face every time I've seen him. Five on the shot clock. Here's the freshman Petty. Calls his own number around and out. And a chance for a little run for the Bearcats. First 4 minutes of the second half have been a stalemate. That one blocked by Bamboye, but followed by Chom.
I just love the touch in which Chom constantly displays. I mean, right there, gets the first one block. Immediately gets the ball right back in his hands. He's fading away, but he has the skill set to be able to knock down that teardrop hook. That's high level right there, Rich.
6-zip Cincinnati run. They've gotten to within 6. Low on Watts will go to the free throw line when we return, but no quit in the Bearcats, King.
Mustafa Chom just picking up where he left off last game. Good move, gets it blocked, but look at this. Fading away, it doesn't matter. Chom for the easy 2.
Introducing SportsCenter for you, personalized every single day. Now available on the ESPN app. Powered by your favorites.
This game just an appetizer because there's a lot more Big 12 basketball coming up on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern, number 2 Arizona and Baylor, followed by number 19 BYU hosting UCF at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Like everything else, both games also available on the ESPN app. Of course, the Big 12 well represented in Joe Lunardi's bracketology. All the teams you see on your screen are in, except for West Virginia. Right now, they're on the outside of the bubble, but Cincinnati, among 4 other schools, are all being considered still. A lot more yet to be determined.
Yeah, if Cincinnati can string a few wins together down the stretch, it completely changes the trajectory, it completely changes the outcome for everything in this program. And I want to say that I think Wes Miller has done a great job of getting this team back focused and locked in and figuring out ways to be able to string some wins together when a lot of coaching staffs would have given up. Wes Miller and his staff has done a tremendous job of getting this thing turned back the right way.
We've heard a lot from other coaches who shall remain nameless, who feel like they are trying to motivate their team by giving up on it. Not so with Wes Miller.
This team has not given up. The way that they play, the way they compete night in, night out. This is not a team that just lays down.
Chom has been a real strength for them. He misses that one. Game high 14 for number 52 in black for Cincinnati. Anderson in another pick and roll situation. King highlighted before how effective he is in that. Atwell, catch and release, in and out. You expect every one of those to go down. Now Anderson, 2-point range, no. The follow, no good, but a foul called on Cincinnati. Mariel Aquentuk will go to the line.
And that's an area in which Texas Tech has really dominated, and Cincinnati's been struggling. And you would think that Cincinnati would have the advantage, but in second chance points, I mean, Tech is dominating 10-4, and once again, off the rebound, now you're back at the free throw line. Cincinnati's gonna have to do a better job of blocking out in the second half if they want to win.
Quintuck, a redshirt freshman out of Canada. At 7:30 Eastern, the Detroit Pistons hosting the OKC Thunder. Then Boston wraps up their 4-game road trip in Denver against the Nugs. Our NBA Countdown crew tips off the coverage at 7 Eastern on ESPN. A rare miss from the free throw line for the Red Raiders, but they get it back in a fresh 20. Here's Aquentuk. Dribble handoff to Atwell. Pocket pass. And Mustafa Cham is going to be whistled for the foul, sending Mariel Aquentuk back to the free throw line.
And this was a great pocket pass right here by Atwell off the pick and roll. Cham steps up. The backside tag doesn't get there in time. Atwell just makes the right decision.
And I'll tell you what, they usually say don't make bounce passes to big guys because they don't have such good hands. Mariel Aquentuk, who hasn't played a lot this year, this is just his 9th game of the season, showing some good mitts. Can't convert the free throw. He's missed all of his attempts so far tonight. There you go, big guy. 1 for 4 for Aquentuk. That extends the Tech lead to 9. And Grant McCaslin wants everyone on their feet. Foul away from the ball. That's going to go on Atwell.
And once again, we talk about Atwell and his ability to be able to shoot the basketball, but I mean, on the defensive side, they have him chasing Day Thomas on 3 or 4 down screens at a time every possession. I mean, his defense and what he does for them on that side of the ball does not get talked about enough because he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the Big 12.
Miller working on Mosley. Blocked. and taken away by the Red Raiders. Anderson getting the attention of multiple Bearcat defenders now. Mosley can't hit the runner. And another rebound for Chom. He's got 8 boards and 14 points tonight. And he'll try a 3. Get it! How about Mustafa Chom backing up that 28-point effort against Kansas with 17 now on the road at Texas Tech?
Well, he hit 2 threes in the last game at KU. So you know that Mustafa Chom, if you hitting him in Allen, you're extremely confident.
All of a sudden, the Red Raiders have gone a little chilly. 0 for their last 5. No field goals in the last 4+. And Grant McCaslin wants to talk it over.
We keep talking about Big Fella and how impressive he's been. Or at least showing us that he can stretch the floor as well.
Cincinnati big man Mustafa Chom feasting on Red Raiders defense tonight.
You know, he had one of his best games in his whole career in Allen, and he's just picking up where he left off. 17 points, 8 rebounds tonight, and in the last 3 games, he's been terrific. 19 points, 8 rebounds in the last 3. He's playing with an extra load of confidence, and as games progress, he just keeps getting better and better. And he's one of the biggest reasons why Cincinnati has won 4 games in a row.
He's shown the ability to step outside the arc and hit threes, and he's normally just a 61% free throw shooter. Tonight he's 4 for 5 from the line as well. Right now, he'll take a breather on the bench. You know Wes Miller's going to need him down the stretch in what is now just a 6-point game. Atwell will inbounds for the Red Raiders, who called timeout before that break. Here's Anderson, a team-high 17 for him. And that one was from Wolford. The folks at Evie Mae's Barbecue felt like that was in their parking lot.
And as a defending big, when Christian Anderson comes off the ball screen, there's no way in the world you should be that low.
That 2 off the mark from Jizzle James. He had an early 8 points, has been quiet ever since. Anderson. 22 now for Christian Anderson.
Christian Anderson just having his way on the offensive side. I mean, the finish over the athletic 7-footer. Anderson's having himself a night.
8 rebounds, 5 dimes as well for Anderson. The rebound to Watts. Good hands by Day Thomas.
These last 2 buckets are extremely high level. I mean, Christian Anderson, you're McKinley, you cannot be that low because he'll rise and pop. And let's take a look at this finish, because this is so tough. Over the 7-footer, the concentration, the focus, the touch. I mean, this is one of the most impressive games I've seen Christian Anderson play all season. And then he throws a turnover.
Thomas, transition three, touches nothing but air. And the crowd's gonna let him hear about it. And a bit of a moving screen by the freshman Jalen Petty. That's gonna be Petty's first. It'll be Cincinnati basketball when we return.
We talked about how there's no player in the country that's been in more ball screen situations than Christian Anderson. No player in the country has generated more points, whether that be from scoring or facilitating in the pick and roll than Christian Anderson has. And he's putting on a display in a ball screen time and time again. He has been so impressive. And for him to not be able to have a hot shooting performance in the first half, then turn around and do what he's done in the second, that level of confidence translates. And they need every ounce, especially with Toppin being out.
Anderson leading all scorers with 22. He also has 8 rebounds to go along with those 5 assists. So he might be getting his 8th double-double of the season, but it would be the first using rebounds in that category. Celestine goes inside to Chong. Turnaround, got it off, but short. And Celestine follows it up, but it rolls out somehow. Anderson, blocked, but a foul is called. Seemingly getting to the rim at will, King.
Let's take a look at this. I mean, Chom had a good look at it, and this just goes in and out. And that's one of those, if you're Celestine, you definitely want back because you need those buckets.
23 now for Anderson, the sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Oak Hill Academy. Took some people by surprise last year, getting a lot of playing time on an Elite 8 team for Grant McCaslin. He's not surprising anyone this year, but he's living up to the hype for sure.
I mean, last year he was more of a scorer, had shot a lot of threes. He was more of a shooter, played that role. But he's definitely grown into a true point guard that can really make everybody else around him better, but still be able to get his own and pick his spots.
This is his 11th time that he scored over 20 points. He's also had 11 times when it's had 7 or more assists. And McCaslin trusts him to make every play the right play. A 2.4 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. 10 on the shot clock for the Bearcats. Now 5 to shoot. Tillery threw it up, and Texas Tech took it away. And there's a foul again, and they're calling offensive on Christian Anderson. We'll have to take a look at that.
And I want to say it's because Christian Anderson cut off Mustafa Chom's momentum. But we have to take a look at this.
Yeah. Almost a hook and hold, almost.
It's tough because as a point guard, you're taught when somebody's behind you, you keep him on your back.
Yeah, they call that a hostage dribble.
Yes, you keep him in jail, as our guy Fran Fraschilla says. And that's what we're taught as guards, but right there, I don't know if I agree with that call.
Chom got it to go and silences the crowd, but only for a moment. And Anderson threw it away. Tillery thought about it and missed it. There's another rebound for Texas Tech. Up ahead, Anderson. Here's Petty. 9 in the first half on 3 threes for the freshman, number 11 in white. No whistle as Bamboya hits the deck. 26 now for Anderson. His career high is 34. And listen to this crowd. James calmly cans the 2-pointer. And Cincinnati wants to call a timeout and talk it over. Wes Miller's boys trailed by 11, 9:27 to go. And now the crowd is at full lather.
Christian Anderson taking his time, doing whatever he wants. That boy's looking good.
Well, there's Grant McCaslin exchanging pleasantries with his friend Pat Adams, trying to get a little extra explanation on that foul on Christian Anderson.
And I get it. I don't love the call. But nonetheless, move on.
Well, the good news is Christian Anderson only has 2 fouls. But considering he's most likely going to play about 40 minutes tonight, Grant McCaslin knows how valuable those fouls are. And now a little bit of a Bronx cheer from the crowd on that Sincere Harris foul. By the way, Anderson's 26 ties his Big 12 career high. Had 26 earlier this season against the Baylor Bears, has 26 tonight against the Bearcats. He's got his double-double, the first of the season, with points and rebounds. 26 points, 10 boards. Mosley, he's been active on the glass. Back inside to Mosley. 10 on the timer. Check that, here's Watts. And Watts bangs it off the window.
This is just good patience right there by Watts. Taking his time, not being in a rush, playing off 2 feet, and just rising up over the top. And when you can finish like that, you deserve to celebrate like this.
And that flex from Lawan Watts is what Grant McCaslin wants to see more of. He said he was terrific against Kansas State, had 19 in their last win. But he said, I'm going to challenge him to be more physically dominant. And he was on that play. Largest lead of the night for Grant McCaslin and the Red Raiders. Well, the Bearcats started out on fire, 9 for perfect 9. But since then, they have shot just 28% from the field. Conversely, Texas Tech's made 1 out of every 2 shots they've taken. The lead is 14. Baseline jumper, no. Rebound from Child. Off the window, no. And Baba Miller's got his first bucket of the second half.
And I think this is the time for Cincinnati where Baba Miller has to insert himself as the best player for Cincinnati. Like, everything has to run through him, but he has to want that to happen. He has to be that dominant leader, be the alpha right now.
We're almost 12 minutes into the second half, and that was one of the only touches he's had.
Yeah.
In and out on that 3 attempt by Petty. Here's Miller leading the transition break for the Bearcats. John draws the foul. That'll be on Mosley. First foul on the Texas Tech big man as we step aside. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com. Thanks, KC. There's a Raider riot going on in the hub city of Lubbock, Texas. Their Red Raiders are just a few minutes away from getting their 11th league win. That would vault them into a tie for second place behind just the Arizona Wildcats, a team that they beat earlier this year. The third time in program history a Red Raiders team has beaten a #1 ranked team in America, and it was their third win against the top 10 team this year. Mustafa Cham now with 20 points. Playing off that 28 he put down on the Jayhawks last Saturday. (21-9) for the big man for Cincinnati, Mustafa Cham. Inside United Supermarkets Arena, King McClure, Rich Allenberg, and our ESPN2 crew. There's Mosley getting an easy 2.
And that's just too easy. I mean, right there, you lift the shooter, and you know Cincinnati is going to put 2 on the basketball. And Christian Anderson does a really good job of just getting rid of it with bad defense by Cincinnati.
Here's Celestine, guarded by Anderson. And he still knocks down the triple.
And that's what he does. And when you allow him the space to be able to get it off, he's confident enough to know all I need is a little bit of room, and this is probably going in.
That pocket pass gone awry. Here's Thomas going right at Anderson, and a late whistle will send Day Thomas to the line.
Well, let's take a look back at this, because take a look at this. They put 2 on the basketball. Look how empty, look how wide open the lane is. No backside help. Just allows Mosley to be able to do whatever he wants, and that's just bad defense right there by Cincinnati. And on the other side, yeah, it was a late whistle, but Christian Anderson might have grazed the knee of Day Thomas.
So a little extra frustration etched all over the face of Grant McCaslin, because that's the 3rd foul on Anderson. Day Thomas, an excellent free throw shooter, only goes 1 for 2. He's 91% from the free throw line this season. The lead is 8 for the Red Raiders. Watts doing work. Flex on him, Lawan.
And Watts is just such a strong specimen. I mean, they have a size advantage of about 5 inches right here. But look how he just goes straight through the chest of the shot blocker. Look how he moves him all the way from outside the lane to underneath the rim and just finishes through the contact. I mean, that is what Lawan Watts can do for this Texas Tech team. We just haven't seen it enough.
Look at the effort. And Anderson pays it off. A Big 12 career high, 29 for Christian Anderson, and that one came off a back tap on a missed free throw.
Second chance points. Texas Tech has been dominating 17-6. And these types of plays kill coaches. They frustrate them. Because a free throw line should be an automatic blockout, an automatic secure of the defensive rebound. But these are winning plays by Donovan Atwell, and immediately locating the shooter. And this is what happens when you're playing as well as Christian Anderson is playing. You celebrate like that.
The 3rd 3 of the night for Christian Anderson as he approaches a single season record like his teammate Donovan Atwell did one game ago. A great start for Cincinnati has gone downhill. They trail by 13 now, despite Mustafa Cham's 21 points and 9 rebounds. Christian Anderson has played every minute of this game. He has his 8th double-double of the season, but the first involving rebounds. And he's closing in on a single-season assist record as well. Elijah Hughes set that last year with 226. Christian Anderson has 205 now with his 5 dimes tonight.
And Rich, one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the plays that Donovan Atwell makes when he's not just shooting the ball. And we talked about his defense, but that play right there, the offensive rebound. I mean, he's a winner. When he was at UNCG, he understood how to win, and that's one thing that made Grant McCasland fall in love with this young man.
Inside, Cham blocked by Bamboye. And a foul on the follow.
And this is where Bamboye just is so special. And he can take this defense to another level. Look at the recovery right there. He's beat, but good timing to be able to high point that block. And then he gets the foul, but I mean, Bamboye has missed so many games, Rich, but he's second on this team behind JT Toppin in blocks. And that just goes to show his impact on the defensive side.
So Bamboye whistled for the foul, sending Jalen Celestine to the line. Touches every part of the rim before it drops down. Time is of the essence now for Jalen Celestine and the rest of these Bearcats, down by a score of 71-60 now, an 11-point lead. And Wes Miller's been in a bunch of close games this year, and this 4-game winning streak has showed him that his team can close games out. But now they're going to have to claw themselves back into this one. Atwell hesitated and didn't hit. Offensive rebound, but a foul on the floor.
Right now, Texas Tech is just wanting this game more than Cincinnati is. And we're seeing it based off second chance points, the amount of offensive rebounds that Texas Tech continues to grab. I mean, this is the level of toughness that Grant McCasland said, I am concerned about in shoot-around. When you lose JT Toppin, you get concerned about the toughness, the physicality, the grit. But I think that they have had a tremendous display of all of those things and kind of sort of put that concern to bed.
The All-American JT Toppin is going to have to be Texas Tech's best cheerleader the rest of the way. With him, a Final Four contender. Do you think they could be a second weekend team in the tournament without him?
100%. The way that they shoot the ball, the way that Christian Anderson is playing, and if their front court can continue to gain confidence and grow, I do think Texas Tech can be a second weekend team.
This game's been called a lot tighter in the second half than it was in the first half. Atwell left alone. He missed twice in a row. Four for 9 from deep for Donovan Atwell, one of the best three-point marksmen in the country. Miller. He's been quiet in the second half. And that foul's going to go on Watts, his third.
And Cincinnati is a top 10 defense, according to Ken Pom. But there's no way that a top 10 defense should be losing a guy like Atwell and letting him shoot wide open, uncontested threes. Atwell is way too good for you to allow him that type of freedom.
Coming off a season-high 26 against the Kansas State Wildcats, where he made 6 of 9. Tonight, he's 4 for 9 with 12 points. And you know Grant McCasland is going to be leaning on that left-handed stroke of Donovan Atwell even more without JT Toppin the rest of the way. And Celestine stepped up to the free throw line. It should be Baba Miller shooting.
That was 100% Baba Miller. That's not even a question. Celestine tried to pull one, but that shouldn't even been a question.
So now Miller at the line has 11 points, but only 2 in the second half. Now make it 3, a dozen for the big man. Baba Miller 4th in the nation in defensive rebounds, 2nd in the conference with 11 double-doubles, but tonight he's been held relatively in check. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And most of that damage being done in the first half.
Cincinnati needs a stop. They have to get stops right here, but once again, the pick and roll. The backside tags of Cincinnati have not been good tonight. The rotations on the backside have not been where they need to be.
Anderson, another assist, first bucket of the night for Luke Bamboye. Thomas short. Out of bounds, it'll be Red Raiders basketball. Christian Anderson's fingerprints all over everything the Red Raiders do.
And take a look at this. Celestine is supposed to step over to stop this. But he doesn't step over, and now when Charm hard hedges, there's nobody on the backside, and Christian Anderson will pick you apart if your defensive coverage is not on point.
Dare we say triple-double alert. 29, 10, and 7 assists for Christian Anderson. Now content to just drain some clock. Here's Watts, mid-post. Muscles his way in, lost the handle. He's better get it up. Ooh. And it doesn't touch rim, so it's a shot clock violation. We have our final media timeout from Lubbock. 3:31 to go. Largest lead of the night for Texas Tech. Oh, you guys, KC, we're talking about Jaden Bradley. I'm sitting next to a former Big 12 guard in King McClure. The guard play in the Big 12 is second to none, especially the point guard play. Jaden Bradley, sensational. But we're seeing one of the best, if not the best, in Christian Anderson tonight. 3 assists shy of a triple-double. John with the turnaround. Too strong, rebound to Watts. Christian Anderson has 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists with 3 minutes to go in regulation. It's the largest lead of the night for the Red Raiders. Lost the handle that time. Goes out of bounds, and it will be Cincinnati basketball. Well, here's a look at just some of the terrific point guards. PJ Haggerty's on that list because he's leading the league in scoring at 23.5. But look at the rest of them, all contenders. From the bottom up, Lipsy, Bradley, Rob Wright we'll see a little bit later.
There's no shortage of high-level production from that spot. And
you know who's not on that list? Themis Folks. He deserves some flowers, too.
He's terrific.
For UCF, we're going to see him taking on BYU in just a little while on ESPN, too.
He's arguably one of the most underrated point guards in this conference. He doesn't get talked about enough, but I mean, UCF is a potential tournament team because of him.
Good ball movement by Tech. Step back 3, off the mark. Day-Day all the way. Just the second field goal of the night for Day-Day Thomas.
You know, we talk about the offense, and without Toppin, will it dip? I mean, against Kansas State, they put up 100. In this game, 78. I mean, they've shown that regardless whoever is on that floor, Texas Tech will never, ever not be able to score the basketball. And that's primarily due to guys like Jeff Linder. I mean, Jeff Linder is one of the most underrated offensive minds in college basketball.
Free throws good. Christian Anderson has 30 tonight. Well, coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPN2, second-ranked Arizona and Baylor from Waco, followed by number 19 BYU hosting UCF at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. And like we said, if you love point guard play, just break off the handle and keep watching ESPN2 all night. Christian Anderson, how about this? Only A.J. DeBonsa and his teammate J.T. Toppin have had games with 30 points, 10 or more rebounds, and 5 or more assists. That's what Anderson has done tonight. 31, 11, and 7.
And this is how he's going to have to play. I mean, especially with Toppin out. He's going to have maybe not nights like this with these high of numbers, but he can't afford to have an off night without Toppin.
And I don't blame him, but he wants those 3 more assists.
Yeah.
Celestine with the 3. He tried to get one there to Bamboye, who lost the handle. Well, a timeout called after that 3 by Jalen Celestine. Wes Miller out of timeouts, 2 left for Texas Tech. Well, not only does the Big 12 have tremendous point guard play, unfortunately, there have been some key players who have been injured. We've talked about J.T. Toppin tonight. Arizona playing without fabulous freshman Koa Pete. How do you handicap their chances going forward without him?
Yeah, well, the win against Houston on the road was probably their best win all season. I mean, you were undermanned. You went into a hostile environment where you're playing against arguably one of the most physical teams in college basketball. And to handle them the way that you did, to have guys like Delorso step up the way that he was able to do. I mean, that was such a confidence-boosting win, especially after you dropped a few. I mean, this Arizona team is as good of a team as there is in college basketball.
Joe Lunardi still has him as a 1 seed. And they're ranked 2nd in the nation coming in. Pressure, handled by Texas Tech. And now Wes Miller has instructed his team not to foul. 7 on the shot clock. Anderson with the ball on a string, and he misses that attempt. Shot clock's off. Texas Tech is going to improve to 21-7 on the season and 11-4 in Big 12 play. And now they're 2-0 without JT Toppin and tied for second in the Big 12. Make it 19 straight home wins against an unranked opponent for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They're tied at 11-4 with number 5 Houston and number 14 Kansas. 1 game and a half behind number 2 Arizona. Our final score once again, Texas Tech 80, Cincinnati 68. Thanks for watching. So long from Lubbock. And now we send it to Waco for Arizona Baylor. Dave Fleming and Sean Farnham on the call.